Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video, and today we have some more RPG goodness. We have VHS-Very Horror Stories RPG system. Now this was a Kickstarter that I backed a while ago, and I wanted to do the unboxing for you. Now there's no way I can go through all this content here in one video, so there's going to be multiple videos that I'm going to show you about all the content that was included. But what I'm showing you right here, you have all your different editions of materials that you use to play the Very Horror system. So you have, first off, you have the dice pack, you have the short horror stories, the Very Horror Story spin-off pack, you have the extras pack right there, you have Horror Fest. Move this stuff to the side. Then you have the core box sets. You have VHS-Very Horror Stories opening night and Very Horror Stories, the core box set. The core box set includes basically three adventures. You have Bloodlust, Overplague, Unchained, and then the second set which came out, you have Remnants, Deadbreak, and Trash Bag. I'm going to look at the very first one in the system that came out, which is right here, which is Press Play and Scream, and it's of course by Aces Games. Now there's three of these inside here, and once I pop it open, I'll give you a little bit better idea. This was, again, this company that came out of Aces Games, which is out of Italy. I saw this, it really intrigued me because you guys know here on the channel we love horror games, and we love horror themed role-playing games, board games, miniature games. It doesn't matter, we love everything, all things horror here. So when I saw this kind of went right down my alley. And one thing that really attracted me to it was in the first box set that they released, you saw one, it kind of gave you a flavor for three different types of films. And the films are basically the role-playing game itself. It's basically the I guess you could say each one of these are a different module that you would play in the system. And again, you have a horror one, you have kind of a supernatural one, and then you have one which is basically a science fiction one. So I said that's the best jump off point, so you can figure out which type of game that you like the best that they have to offer. Then they came out with another Kickstarter which had both of these box sets and all the extras that you saw, including the Horror Fest tape, again, the short stories, and then you can get the extra dice if you wanted it. And then again, these are just extra maps and stuff like that, which we'll go over. And then we have something called Very Horror Stories spin-off package. Again, we're going to start off just basically with the introduction, which will be right here, which will be the first box set. So I just wanted to show you everything that was included in the Kickstarter, which I purchased. So we're going to start off with this right here. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness we have on the inside. And what's great about it, it has that 80s feel, which is anyone who had a DVD box sets, it reminds you of a box set of different horror films. It comes right out of the nice slipcase, which is absolutely beautifully done. As you can tell, the artwork again really captures the theme, which is really fantastic as well. So basically in here we have three different types of it's again all the same rule set, but again you have three different types of movies that you can play that are going to be part of your campaign. So of course we have Bloodlust, which is a horror film. You have Unchained, which is more of a supernatural film, and then you also have one here which is science fiction. So let's start off by looking at which it says a Very Horror Stories. Let's concentrate first off on Bloodlust, the first of the series that came out. So I'm going to crack this open real quick. And again, the packaging for every single one of these is absolutely fantastic. As you can tell, it's set up like it would be an old VHS, captures that whole 80s vibe. So let's see what it says in the back here. Welcome to Bloodlust, a VHS dedicated to slasher movies, prepared to bloodthirsty murders, cannibal families, and creatures that live to kill and feed on pain. Your pain. No escape from their clutches, no one to hear you screaming, no flash to light the path to salvation from their blood-soaked dens. This is Bloodlust, where the only currency is your blood. Plus, Bloodlust VHS concludes all these things right here. Again, brought to you by Very Horror Stories out of Italy. So, again, you open it up, sort of like how you would a videotape, and how cool is that? I mean, that is really captures the imagination right away of a old VHS tape. For those who don't know, you take the tape, put it like this, put it inside the player, and of course when that tape would pop in, you'd always see the name of the movie right there. But how cool is that right there? Really, really captures the idea. Now let's see how we open this without breaking it. Okay, just like the tape, the front end of the tape is the front end of the box, which is really cool. And then you have all this great stuff in each one of the boxes. Again, I'm not going to read over all the material because we'll be here for a year just for one of these boxes, but I'm going to show you what we got here. So first, let's push this to the side here. So let's take a look at the rule book first. So it is a quite thick rule book, as you see here. So this is, again, do I expect to see one of these type of rule books in every one of the systems? No, but this kind of gives you the overview of the whole, the very horror stories, how to play the games actually. So there's your rule book. So you open that up. Again, the print is pretty small, so I'm not going to be able to read much to you. But again, here on the back, you see your first scream could be your last. You get a bunch of maps on there. Okay, let's take a look here. So it's going to go through here. Oh, that's a thank you page. Again, it's more thank you for those who did the Kickstarter. Back to Kickstarter. It says, welcome to VHS. Then said, welcome, make yourself at ease. What is VHS? So here we go. VHS is a role-play game inspired by horror classics such as Halloween, Alien, Nightmare, and many more, in which your goal will be surviving the horrors of the world, whether ours or another much darker one. You might find yourselves fleeing from a grove and a bloodthirsty murderer, breaking out of a house inhabited by a family of cannibals, destroying a starship infested by a carnivorous alien before it can reach Earth, performing a ritual to banish a demonic creature back to its native dimension, and many other weird circumstances. If you ever watched a horror movie, I am sure that these first lines have made you think of a few classic movies already. How many times watching them you shouted at the screen, "Don't split the group, he's right behind you," or "What kind of idiot would go in there?" In VHS, you will not have to shout, well, not for that reason at least, because you and the other players will be the very protagonist actors, or if you prefer, aspiring victims, facing in first person the horrors lurking in the shadows. You will stop the summoning ritual of a Cardanian demon, you will save your mate from the torture dungeon of a deranged maniac, and you will fight a spirit stealing the souls of the living. As well as feeding you monsters and demons, ghosts, and aliens, VHS includes tools to make your own films, which are adaptable and rich rule set. You will be able to tailor sets, characters, and more importantly, the monsters your players will fight to your group with a vintage touch and all the tropes that gave life to one of the most beloved genres in pop culture. Surely something to keep you up at night. Will you endure the slaughter and rewrite the end, or will you join the host of the dead? Your destiny is in your own hands, so prepare to play and scream. Again, it gives you background about what an RPG is, what players are, character sheets, reality, and illusion. Going through this, a table of contents of all the things are in here. Again, I'm not going to read through everything. Playing with horror, moderating blood, hand over eyes, the role of fear in the game, the foundation of tension, certain death, setting the mood, I scream with you, suspension from meat hook or disbelief. Then again, it goes from that, gives you a little background about what role-playing games are and what the roles of, I guess you could say, the GM would or the director would be. Again, these are directing the films themselves. Then playing Bloodlust, you have a whip hand on a knife. The core level 1, nosebleed, little or of any. Level 2, hand cut off, mild gore. Then you have level 3, blood and guts, and level 4, dismember fest. So it really depends upon which level of player you're playing with. So you got 4 different levels to choose from, and of course you've got this whole, the harder it gets, the more blood there is also in it as well. So you go from basically the PG, PG-13, the R, and remember it can go up to level X. X doesn't mean that it's pornographic. X also could mean that it's very, very graphic and very, very violent as well. They don't use that term that often in U.S. films, but there is the X rating, and if you looked it up, it would tell you that X-rated means not just pornographic, but it also means that there's highly objectionable material in it, which could also be of a violent nature as well. So then you have the monster approach, mixing things up. Again, setting the setting, rolling dice, side sets. Again, then static elements, various items, moving about a set, exploration, searching, area-specific spaces, darkness, movement priority, main set types, you have open ground, large buildings, rapid move through, mixed grounds. Again, the different tension levels. You could have very high, high, medium, and low. So that's on a scale of 1 to 10, basically 1 through 12, basically. When to roll dice, roll modifiers, monster apparitions, jump scares, playing with horror. Again, movement sequence, an example, dreadful events, conditions lists, all kinds of stuff in this book here. Main sets, the abandoned tunnels, static elements. Now it gets to basically the main set of the game of Bloodlust. And this is basically all the information regarding that scenario itself there. There is lots and lots of pages here. I don't want to, again, read everything that's here, but it really gives you an in-depth look into what it means to run a horror film and to be the director in it, and to make sure that you have a great night of horror films. So again, it doesn't really say here, but it's basically, if you think about it, it's going to take at least 2 to 3 hours per session that you're going to play. So if you look at it, you got 3 of these games included in this box set here. You've got at least a couple days worth of gaming to go through. You know, if you're doing a session of 3 hours one night, 3 hours another night, it could take, you know, 3 or 4 days to get through the entire box set. So again, I don't want to spend too much time reading through all this material here, but it's a very, very large tome of information. Again, so talks about Bloodlust right here. Again, Endless Horror, Scream, VHS. A little more information. Again, learn more about us at acesgames.it, again, from Italy. So again, there's for more information or how to play the game, all that stuff. Again, this is just an unboxing. It's acesgames.it. Again, so that's the core rule book right there. And it also has the first module, I'm going to say, or the first film in it, called Bloodlust. So that's the first book we have here. Also included in that box, which is right here, also included that as some tokens for the things that you're going to need to get there. All kinds of different things. Got some punch outs. Punch outs are very, very nice. Nice thick cardboard. Again, as I always say, you know the quality because it goes right back in. Right back in. You can't even tell you took it out. So again, take a look at the back side of those tokens that are included. So the creatures and all that stuff there. Okay. Then you also, which is really, really cool, you also have your character cards and your hero cards and everything else that you need to play the game itself. So all your main characters are right here inside the box. So let's take a look at it. So again, I'm not going to read all the stuff on all the cards, but you have, it says here, Aaron Steeler is Adam Hopper. You have Amelia Green, Eva Lenore. You have Jack Bergeron. You have Toby Arnold. You have Edward Carving. You have Eloise Barbier, Father Declan, and you have Mother Willow, and you have the Howling Host. So these are all different characters and creatures that you'll meet throughout the context of the story. So let's take a look at one of these individuals. So there's a great, great artwork. Every one of these has stunning artwork. The attention to detail that Aces Games put into each of these VHS tapes, basically tapes or modules or however you want to put films that they've put together. Everything is really, really outstanding. This is definitely, when you look at things, investments that you make into Kickstarter, some of them come up a little short. This one here fulfills everything that you would want for a role-playing game or any type of game. All right, so it gives you background information about it. So it says Aaron Steeler as Adam Hopper. So Adam Hopper gives you a little background about the character himself. Then on the other side gives you all the stats that you would need. So you have instability, you have wounds, your parameters, strength, agility, mind, and charisma. Special abilities are right there. He's a lockpicker. You are considered having a lockpick kit that never runs out of uses. However, because it is not an actual item, it cannot be taken from you as per conditions such as exposed, searches, or anything else. Whenever you fail a test to pick a lock, roll a d6 on a result of 6 or 6, you suffer 1 insanity point. Traits, evasive action, watcher spirit, invisible runner, stealthy. Equipment, you have binoculars, a knife, melee, which is used for melee, and you have 2 stimulants. These hands have stolen, touched things that did not belong to them, and escaped many binders. Now I use them to pray that, like them, my body can escape all of this. So that's one of your characters right there. Again, all the characters are set up identically the same way. So let's just grab a different one. So we say, again, gives you the name of the actor and gives you the name of the character, background information. All of them are set up identically the same. And again, the stat lines are here, the parameters or stats, your special ability, and then your different traits. And again, the equipment that you have right there, and it has a little blurb at the bottom. So that, again, I'm just going to show you those real quick. This is what comes in the first box. Again, the Howling Mist. So this is one of your creatures that you will be fighting. Back here, special ability, Headhunter, fear counter, how many wounds he has, the parameters that they have, the traits, again, the trinkets, the equipment, ancient mixture, cursed amulet, tar fist, at an 8 melee, brutal, tar whip, ranged. All right, there you go. So that's that character there. Then you have her. Again, Mother Willow. Again, everything's set up exactly the same way as we see. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time going through all these. And then you have Father Declan. Father Declan. I wanted to show that artwork up close again. Eloise Bobier. I may not be pronouncing her name correct, but that's okay. Then, of course, we have Edmund Carving, which is one of the killers in the adventure. Then you have Toby Arnold. You have Jack Bergeron. And you have Amelia Green. So all those cards are included inside this VHS tape as well. Then you have your maps, which again are highly detailed, has lots of information on it. So if you look on it, it looks like a little map that you would pick up when driving through and going into any gas station nowadays. You can find some fold-up maps. It looks just like that. So you pop this open. So just move this to the side, move this to the side, so we can show you what one of these maps looks like. That fold right out. So again, we want to fold it up just so we can lay it down flat here just a little bit. So there's your map right there. It starts off A, B, C. Right off the top, as you see it, A, B, C, D, E. Then you got F, G, H. All sections that you will be investigating on your trip through these woods here. And it goes from A all the way up to letter U, as you see here. Just showing it real quick on the camera. So again, all of the individual box sets that you're going to see here, or each of the tapes that are included, have basically the same ideas. They have a map in there, they have the player cards, they have the tokens, and of course the rules that go along for the game itself. And you'll have multiple maps. Now if I flip this map over, there's a bunch of information on here as well. So it tells you what the movement sequence is, the different tokens that you need to use. Okay. Then you talk about using fear counterpoints, combat turn orders. Part 3, escape and chasing, what you're going to have to do. And again, part 4 is a little bit more about that escape and chasing, the rules you have to follow for that. Then we have a capture sequence, which is right there. Again, the tokens that you're going to be using for this adventure. And again, it's the outside of the map. So there you go. You have, that's one of the maps that you have. There's also a second map that is also included for this adventure. So that one, this map is called Meyerville Swamps. I'm going to push that one back here. Then we have another one, and this is called The Abandoned Tunnels. So again, you're going to be going to various different locations during your adventure. So we can take a look at the map right here. So it starts on the top here. I'm going to fold it this way so we can see it a little bit better. So there's your A, B, C. Section D there. You got E, F, G, H. Then you got your I, J, K. Okay, there's your L, M, N, O, P, and your ways of escaping. There's Q down there, P, Q. There's L. Again, on the back, which is very helpful. Again, it gives you all the information, your movement sequence. Again, using fear counterpoints, combat turn order. Again, escape and chasing, more information about capture sequence, and of course over here too. It's all, everything that you need to know about how to play the game is on the back of each of the maps, which is very, very helpful because you can hand this out to people and use it as a player aid as well. Keep it down, keep this stuff here closed like that. Now every player on that you have can now have an actual player aid as well, which is really, really clever and thoughtful. So again, I'm just going to flip it on this side just so you can see, just for the time being. There's map number 2 that's included. So again, you got maps. So you got a total of 4 maps. The next one you have is the Dark Forest, which again, we're going to open up and show everybody that one as well. Again, the attention to detail is really fantastic in this game. I gotta say. Now, again, these are not like piezo mats or low battle mats. They are not dry erase. So please do not, if you do back the Kickstarter that they have another one coming up relatively soon. Please do not use dry erase markers on their maps because you will wind up ruining your map. They do give you, which we'll get to a little bit later in another one of the unboxings, but you will see that they do give you multiple copies of the maps, I guess in case you did want to mark it up or put notes on it or anything else like that too. But again, you'd have to back the Kickstarter to get the additional bonus maps. I think they give you 1 bonus map for every tape that they have. They give you all the maps for free, extra set of maps. So you could write on those, keep one that's, you know, one that you use for gameplay and one that you use to keep your notes on. You could do that as well. So let's just take a look at this real quick again. This again is called the Dark Forest. So again, we've got section A going into B, C, D, E, F, G. They come down here, you got your H, got your I, J, down to K. I'm gonna come over to here, we got your M, N, O. There's L over there, L, M, N, O. Then you get your P, Q, R, S, T, and U. So every section has a different letter on it. Again, the attention to detail is beautiful on the maps. Really, really, really awesome. Nice, thick quality paper. Again, they're not laminated. You could always go to you can always go to a place and have them laminated. You could always do that as well. It's something I'm thinking about doing myself down the road. But again, when you talk for bang for your buck, again, this is awesome sauce when it comes down to, again, I'm very, very happy with the investment into this. High quality stuff. Now, if there's anything that I'm going to say, now I'm a little bit older, so the reality is, again, I'm 54 years old. The reality is, excuse me, the reality is that we have, the writing on some of these things is small. So, I mean, that's, if there's something, again, I wear glasses, but at the same time, for, you know, if you want to make all of your people who are backing your products, sometimes you want to have something which is a little bit larger, but also along with everything I'm showing you here, again, because I went in for the full all-in Kickstarter, I also got PDFs of all the maps and all the rule books and everything else, so I can look at it and read it on there as well. So that takes care of the size, because also you can magnify that and everything else you want there. So again, when you buy in, you get a huge amount of content. Huge amount of content. Now again, we're talking about, this is another map here, and this one is the Slaughterhouse. So there's here. You got B, C, D, E, F. There's G down there, car. So again, great attention to detail, nicely laid out maps. You can tell where everything is. Then we're going to go up to this next floor up. You got H, I, J, K. Looks like that goes all the way up to maybe that's maybe a closet there, L. I'm not sure what that is. And then you got M, N, O, P. And then you got Q. So this might be the attic and this might be the basement. That's what I'm thinking just by looking at this map here. So again, so for the very first film, again, they're not called modules, they're called films. You get 4 maps. You get 4 maps. You get your player cards. Your token sheet. And your rule book. All high quality. So that's your Bloodlust right there. That's what's included in Bloodlust. There's everything that's included. So that I'm gonna excuse me, I'm gonna end this video right here, and we're gonna be doing like I said, we're gonna be doing a series of different unboxings for all these, because there's a lot of content that's included in all this. So the first one I did the unboxing for here is going to be for Very Horror Stories. This is video 1, Bloodlust. And this is everything, again, everything you see here. You got 4 maps, you have the core rule book, you have the token set, and you have, again, you have the player, all the characters from the story are put on a beautiful card, you know, player cards. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. So you got 4. Again, this is for VHS-Very Horror Stories role-playing game, brought to you by Aces Games. For more information, go to acesgames.it. And this is everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing of Bloodlust, the role-playing game. As always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you can always give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below. You can also click that subscription button. This way you'll be kept up to date as to anytime we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.